strategic that will be delivered by Dr. Ibukun. Third, question and answer for all the participants today. And lastly, closing. Let's move to the first agenda. Welcome speech from Dr. Ambar Lukitaningsih. Please.
Okay, thank you, Mas Sam. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is about an honor and a pleasure to welcome you all to this special lecture by our esteemed visiting lecturer, Dr. Ogwu Ibukun. We are privileged to have such a distinguished expert in strategic management, right? Okay. Dr. Ogwu Ibukun bring a wealth of knowledge and experience in strategic management that will undoubtedly enrich our understanding of strategic management. Okay, this lecture is an excellent opportunity for all and us, student and faculty alike, to gain insight from leading authority in this field. We would like to extend our gratitude to University Abuja for their support in bringing Dr. Ogwu Ibukun to our institution and making this lecture possible. Before we begin, I encourage all of you to engage actively during the lecture. Please feel free, to ask questions and participate in the discussion afterward. Your involvement will enhance to the overall learning experience for everyone. Okay, thank you and good luck.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ambar Lukitaningsih, Director, Master of Management, University Sarjanawiyata Tamansiswa. Okay, before we move to the second agenda, presenting from Dr. Ibukun, let me remind what the previous topic that we have discussed last week. Dr. Ibukun, we have learning topic before or the last week. The first about Trikon and Ki Hajar Dewantara leadership. Trikon, it's mean continuous, convergent, and concentric. How every leaders able to make organization continuously and convergent to encourage many
Syamsul, I'm sorry. I think you're in mute mode.
Okay, I'm sorry. Tadi putus terus ya. Okay, I'm sorry, Ibukun. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Dr. Ambar Lukitaningsih that has given us welcome speech in this great class. Okay, before we move to the second stage that will be presented by Dr. Ibukun, let me remind what the previous topic last week that we have learned together. The first about Trikon, and Ki Hajar leadership, Ibukun. Trikon, it's mean Trikon is the valuable of strategic that made by our education fathers in Indonesia. And the first ministry in Indonesia, Ki Hajar Dewantara. Trikon, it's mean continuous, and then the second con is convergent, and the last con is concentric. As a leadership, we have to continuous learning, continuous improvement, and we have to encourage many of information from external environment and also in internal environment. And we have to hold the value in organization. That's mean concentric. And the second topic is learning organization. It means that the organization have to learn every time, every minute. Maybe it's like this day we learn from Ibukun. And the third about ambidextrous trust, ambidexterity, sustainability in hybrid organization, in private and in private sector, and in a government sector. It's a different organization. And what happened if two organizations become one management? It's very interesting that we have discussed before. And then the last about strategic management need for business. This topic uh, we have done with my colleague from Dubai, and her name is Dr. Naima Ibukun, that held in 2021 September last week. Okay, that is a previous learning topic that we have discussed before, Ibukun. And this day, we will discuss that Ibukun have shared to us, the PPT, and I have shared to our students too, about the topic strategic management. Okay, please, Ibukun, to present the topic that very interesting and valuable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to appreciate Doctor for inviting me to be a guest lecturer on this topic in strategic management. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, very clear.
All right, thank you.
You.
Okay, so I am just going to share my screen from here so that we can together. Okay, can we all see the screen now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay. So thank you once again. It is right now, it is 10:12 in the morning right here in Nigeria. And I'm sure it is after 4 o'clock there in Indonesia. So thank you once again. I am Dr. Ogwu Ibukun Joyce. Ogwu is my surname. Ibukun is my first name. Joyce is my middle name. So whichever one you find convenient to pronounce. Ibukun is pronounced Ibukun, then Joyce. So I have a PhD in agricultural economics from the University of Ilorin in Nigeria here. And currently I teach in the University of Abuja. And I am a founder of AgriQuare Consult and lead consultant of AgriQuare Consult. And in AgriQuare Consult, we basically do agricultural consultancies. We train, we empower farmers, we facilitate input, and we facilitate markets to our farmers. So thank you once again for having me, and I hope you're going to have a very interesting session together now. So today I will be talking about navigating success through strategic decision making. Navigating success through strategic decision making. And when we say strategic decision, when we say strategic management, we imply the process of planning, executing, and evaluating our long-term goals. You know, once you have a management plan in place, you are able to put together a plan, you're able to execute the plan, and you're able to evaluate the plan. So these three stages are very important in strategic management, where if one of it is missing, then you are definitely not having a strategic management in place. And the importance of this strategic management, that is having planning, execution, and evaluation in place, it allows us to adapt to changing environment. For instance, you have a business or you have an organization and you don't have proper planning. For instance, you don't have proper planning, it exposes the organization to a lot of changes. But if you are able to have proper planning in place, it means you are able to adjust according to different mechanisms in the society, or different mechanisms that the organization will face. Thereby, you'll be able to adapt properly to changing environment, properly to changing instances in the environment or in the country. Also about executing, where you have a proper plan in place, you are able to execute according to your plan. Now, when you are executing, it enables you to identify opportunities and seize those opportunities so that you can make use of these opportunities properly. Then the third phase is evaluation. And we all know that evaluation is about reassessing the outcome of your execution. Like, you have a plan in place, you've executed it, but you need to take another look, like reassess what you've done so far. That is the evaluation phase of the stage 3, where you can look at what is competitive, what is existing that is competitive. If you are not finding yourself in a competitive situation, then you should know that maybe you're doing something wrong and you need to readjust and reassess from your plan to your execution phase. So these 3 stages are very important in strategic management in any organization or in any enterprise. And I jotted some things down. There are basic components, basic key components in strategic management. And one of it is having vision, mission, goals, SWOT analysis, and strategy development. And when I said vision, mission, goals or objectives, SWOT analysis, that's SWOT analysis, and the strategy development. Now, when we say vision, vision means what do we intend to impact into the society? What will the organization want to achieve in the future? That is the vision. Then the mission is what trend, how are you going to put it together? Okay, this is our vision. How do we intend to achieve this vision? That is the breakdown of the mission statement. Then you now have the goals. The goals are those breakdown of objectives, of intentions, of the strategy, of the steps, of the direction you need to take to achieve your vision, to attain the mission of the organization. So then after that, you need to, after the objectives, after you've been able to set the objectives, that's the goals, you need to have something called SWOT analysis. And SWOT analysis basically means you need to assess your area of strength, your area of weakness, your area of opportunities, and your area of threats for the organization, for the enterprise. Meaning, if you are for instance, agricultural consultancy, we have area of strength. Like, you have a number of staff that are qualified to teach people to improve their agricultural enterprise. Or then your threat your weakness could now be, oh, we are not able to cover such a large expanse of people. Like, we are limited in where we can cover. Your opportunities will be like, for example, you have opportunities to increase your reach nationwide or worldwide. With the advent of technology, you have a wider reach. Those are opportunities. Then the threat could likely be any instance that could hamper or inhibit the success of your organization. So I said you are going to have a vision in place, a mission in place, the goals or the objectives in place, and a SWOT analysis. Then for the strategy means the steps you're going to take to reach your objectives. Those are the steps, breakdown of the steps you're going to take to reach your objectives, to reach your goal, the goal of the organization. Okay. Now, in strategic management, a lot of people or organizations find it a little challenging to put in place strategic management. And some of these challenges include competitive landscape, meaning they have a difficulty in navigating through intense competition. And intense competition means, oh, as an organization, there are several other organizations that do similar things with what you do. How are you able to navigate, to differentiate yourself, to brand yourself in a different way so that you can beat competition, so that you can make your own organization different and stand out from the other one? And this constitutes a huge challenge for some organizations where they cannot put themselves out there in a different light instead of falling together with competitors. Another challenge is risk management. Why? Because some organizations find it difficult balancing their risks and their reward. And in the case where an organization finds it difficult to balance their risks and their reward, could likely mean the risks will surpass the reward. And once the risk surpasses the reward, it means the organization is not in good standing. Another challenge some organizations face with strategic management is innovation and globalization, like the advent of innovation and the advent of globalization, trying to stay ahead in a rapidly changing business environment. You realize that some people still hold on to the old system of doing business instead of evolving themselves to do better business, to learn more about the innovation in globalization and in reaching out more using devices and gadgets that are modern compared to those ones they are used to from before. So all these three challenges will surely lead to failure of any organization that are not able to overcome these challenges in strategic management. Okay, now, if we're trying to achieve good strategic management, here are some best practices we need to put together in any organization. And the first one here is alignment of strategy and organization goals. It means you have some strategies or goals and objectives laid down. Now, aligning your strategy implies ways you're going to achieve these goals to achieve the overall objective of the organization. Meaning, once you have this goal set, how are you going to put this? Which ways are you going to achieve these goals? If these strategies are not properly aligned, if these strategies are not properly set out, then you even find it that even the members of the team in the organization, they find it difficult understanding what the goals of the organization is. And it's a little difficult for them to be able to achieve those organization goals because there is no alignment of the strategy and the organizational goals. The second one is data-driven decision. And what I mean by data-driven decision is that you need to be able to take some data and make inferences from those data. Is the organization doing well so far? When they've planned and they've made some execution of their plan, they are supposed to be, the organization is supposed to be able to take some data, analyze it, and see how well they are doing. It is called data-driven decision. And if you're able to put together data-driven decision, then it will be a good form of guide for the organization to know where the lapses are and to adjust and evaluate accordingly. Number 3 says agility. That is the ability to adapt in the face of uncertainty. There are certain situations where organizations hold up or go bankrupt, or they are not able to maintain the organization, to keep the organization afloat. In situations like this, strategic management helps us to know how to adapt the organization to certain form of uncertainties. In any organization or in any business, there is no certainty. So you work with uncertainty because risks can come up at any time. But if you have plans in place and you're executing your plans, then it means you are going to readjust in case of any uncertainty. you are going to go back to your plan and readjust accordingly so that you won't have to go totally bankrupt or totally out of business. Okay. Now, number 4 says leadership, and leadership drives successful strategic management. If the leadership is not capable, then you realize that there won't be a good team spirit in the organization. So it is very important for the organization to have a good leadership drive to ensure that the strategic management in that organization is firm. Now, the 5th one now is continuous learning from experiences and adjusting to the strategies accordingly. You know, in the life of an organization, in any organization, we have 3 major phases. I remember I was teaching my student last semester about 3 major phases of development in any organization, where we have a pre-development phase, the development phase, and the post-development phase, where the pre-development phase is the early stage of any organization, where you still find that even the leadership and the team members, they work about the same level. There's no hierarchy. But when you go to the development stage, that's the middle phase of development, you find out that the organization is getting some structures. Then you can have different departments, assign different offices or departments to certain people and follow suit. But when it gets to the post-development, that's the 3rd phase of development, the organization has really grown and expanded so well that they now have hierarchy in the organization, where every information will now be on paper. You have memo passed from the top to the bottom, and you have letters passed from the bottom to the top. So everything now falls into hierarchy. So from the life of the organization itself, continuous learning from experience helps them to adjust and make informed decisions in strategic management, make informed decisions in their planning, in their execution, and in their evaluation process to ensure that they have intact strategic management. Okay, so now I am going to talk about the role of business enterprise, like a case study now, like a case study using AgriQuare Consult as an example. And in this case, we are going to talk about our experience. So far, AgriQuare Consult started 5 years now. Like 5 years we've been fully registered, fully operational for 5 years. And thankfully, we have been able to expand our reach. We have trained a number of people, a group of people. We have taken up consultancy jobs, training that involves a lot of traveling and training and sessions. And for the case of the strategic management, if like in our organization, it requires proper planning, like we still need to put the word out there. And we need to put in place strategies in putting the word out there. That is on marketing aspect. Because if we just say, oh, everybody, it's not possible for everybody to just know us like that. We need to establish our market and be different, differentiate ourselves from other agricultural consultancy firms. So we have been able to use experience to evolve. And thankfully, we've been able to keep afloat for the past 5 years thereabouts. And that is it for now. So let me see what's next. Okay, and that is it. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Ibukun. Keep close to Ibukun. Okay, thank you so much. We have enough insight, strategic management that have explained by Dr. Ibukun about the planning, how to adapt the changing environment, executing, kemudian evaluation, remind competitiveness, and I think the important one is the alignment about vision, mission, objective, and also strategic that we will share to the all department in our organization, and how to take data-driven decision that make easier to make good decision in organization, and how to be agility, adaptable in uncertainty, because every business uncertainty, right? Yeah. And then leadership, leadership driver successfully strategic management. It's mean that the the impact of a leader in organization are very important. In Indonesia, Ibukun, we have trilogi kepemimpinan, trilogi leadership. Leadership defined into three parts. The first is Ingarso Sung Tulodo. In a Javanese language, we have two languages, in Indonesian language and Javanese language. Javanese language is the valuable language that we talk every day. So I beg my pardon when my students, if ask question not good in English. Okay, the second is Ingmadyo Mangun Karso. Ngadmadyo Mangun Karso, leaders has encouraged the employers, the team in organization, and the last is Tutwuri Handayani. In behind, push all the team to be innovation, to be a creative persons, to make organization better in the future and sustainable in organization. That is about trilogi kepemimpinan, leadership, trilogi leadership. And the last is continuous learning. Okay, maybe it's very important to organization. Okay, the next, maybe any, I'm sure all of my students has many questions. And the first stage, 3 questions from our students, please. From Nita, Rikif.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rikif. Ibukun, any question from Rikif? Please, Rikif.
Okay, thank you very much about the time for giving me time. Miss Dr. Ibukun Ogwu, I read the presentation and the slide 4. Slide 4 is the point 4. Yes. And the point of number 4, leadership drives successful strategy management. I will asking about the point 4. How do we know that our leader has good leadership even though we are new people in the organization? Yes.
Okay.
I think that's all. Thank you very much,
Is,
Mr. Syamsul.
good. This is a good question. We are as newest employees in organization. How we know
Yes,
our leader is best leader?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
I understand the question. You know, when you're joining an organization for the first time, you have some level of uncertainty.
Yes.
And you wonder if you're a good fit for the organization, or you don't know what you're going to meet when you get to the organization. So I think you just have to like keep faith. If you've gone through an interview process, you could, you know, you're allowed to ask questions during your interview. You're allowed to ask questions. And another thing is you're supposed to have like a background knowledge about the organization. Like when you are putting into the organization, when you're applying to the organization and you've been invited for an interview, you should have done some background research so that any doubts you have, you could bring it up during your interview. You know, usually in an interview, during an interview, when you have, after the interaction, the panel will ask you, do you have any question for us? You know? Yeah, so when they ask you if you have any question for them, if you have some level of doubt, or you have some questions you want to ask them, you're free to ask questions, but you won't ask the question in a way that is suggestive or a way that is rude, you understand? You will not want to bring that one up, you understand? So you will just ask in a way that is polite enough, but you will get your response from there. Then you just keep faith and hope for the best and not the other one.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Ibukun.
thank you, Ibukun.
Do you get it, Ricky? It's mean that you have many questions to your
sir.
leader.
I get what
And
I'm asking. Thank you very much for the answer.
okay, thank you. Any question from the chat box from Frankie? In risk management, what thing must be assessed to balance risk and reward? Okay, risk and reward.
Please repeat the question.
In the chat box, in risk management, what thing must be assessed to balance risk and reward?
Okay, what can we use to balance risks and reward? I think it has to do basically with the management of the organization. Because if the organization is properly managed, then you try as much as possible to reduce risk and increase reward. You understand? You will not want to push yourself in a close gap where your risk level is so high and your reward level is low. No, you won't want to do that for any organization. You'd rather put yourself in a place you minimize risk and increase reward, even if it means adjust. For example, let me cite an example. If you are into production of bottled water, for instance, you know, if your organization produces bottled water, and we are trying to balance risk and reward, and of a sudden there is an increase in price of the raw material you use to produce your bottle, or to maintain the organization, to maintain your plant, there is an increase in cost of production, but you still want to keep producing. What will you do? You'd rather reduce your quantity of production. You could reduce the quantity of raw materials you buy so that you could still maintain your income level by minimizing your risk. You understand? So you try as much as possible to minimize risk and still maintain reward. Reward, it could be profit, it could be community service, it could be corporate social responsibility, depending on the goal of the organization. So the reward could be in that form, but risk are all those negative impacts that your organization could be faced with during the organization life.
Okay. Okay, Frankie. Hello, Erwin. Are you there? Okay. Any question from Erwin Ibukun? The simple of the question is, we know that Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, has acquisition of Twitter. Yes, and this is about the acquisition strategic, but the data show that the Twitter enterprise value increase from $25 billion become $20 billion. It means that the acquisition strategy that took by Elon Musk is right strategic, or it's not right strategic.
Oh, okay. You know, different organizations have their own model of running their organization. Remember when the thing is, most of this organization, they rely on debt management. Debt management means they prefer to take more of loans to fund their organization. So when they take those loans to fund the organization, they try as much as possible to boost their level of production, depending on those loans. But you know, so many people are kind of afraid of going into loan to run their businesses. They'd rather use their friends' money or their savings or the little of the capital they have to run the organization. You understand? But people like Elon Musk, he relied so much on using external funding, even if it is loan that he has to pay over years to pay it off. But that is his own strategy of doing business. And another way is he pushes his team a lot. Like he pushes them out of their comfort zone. And I would say pressure. If you call it pressure, like it pushes them out of their comfort zone to perform and show results. So many people might think,
great, Ibukun.
yes, so many people might, sorry, I want to add to it that so many people might think is a harsh, you want result at every instance. They might seem as harsh, but he sees it as
Hello, Ibukun.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, maybe
No.
your network is down.
Oh, okay, let me check it.
Okay.
Let me just check. Now, what about now?
Okay, Pak Juarso,
Is it
Mr.
better now?
Juarso, yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Juarso, okay.
Thank you, Pak Syamsul, for the opportunity. Thank you for your presentation, Dr. Ibukun. My question, how should the strategic management of small and medium-sized enterprise, or SMEs, effectively adapt to rapidly changing business environment, especially in the era of Industry 4.0, where IoT or Internet of Things, artificial intelligence or AI, and big data analysis are the key factors? Thank you.
Okay. So if I get the question right, you said, how do small and medium scale enterprises get to use strategic management to their benefit? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Okay. So it is still the same method that they're going to adopt. The only thing is they are still going to use it at their own scale, at their own level, where they have plans in place. They have to execute those plans, like break those plans down into achievable goals. If the goals they are going to break down is vague, that means they are not going to be able to achieve those goals. So those goals have to be broken down into bits and pieces of achievable goals. So once they are able to start executing those plans, those their goals, they start executing them, they can make a revision of, like an evaluation of what they've done so far and assess their data from there. When they gather the data, they assess it, they compare it to the goals they want to achieve. So once if the result of the analysis shows they are deviating from the core meaning or the core value of their goal, the goal they set for the organization, then it means they are going to evaluate and redesign or restructure this business. They or restructure their planning. So if the plan is not meeting the goals, it means they are doing something wrong and they need to readjust and restructure that to meet the goals of the organization. So the only difference is the scale at which they perform. Theirs is on a smaller scale. For small scale and medium scale, theirs is on a smaller scale compared to a very large organization. That's the difference.
Yes, thank you, Ibukun.
Okay.
Clear, Pak Juarso?
Okay, Thank you, Dr. Ibukun, for your answer and explanation. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Yeah. Even though in SMA or in a big organization, because small, medium, or big organizations, we are sure that through the planning and the end the evaluation to continue our organization. I agree with the Ibukun. And the next question, Ibukun, from Pak Bambang. Pak Bambang Supardi. Maka Pak Bambang.
Bang Supinarti, Pak.
Oh ya, Pak Bambang Supinardi.
Thank you for the time, Madame Ibukun. Vous parlez français, Madame? No?
No, English. Only
Oh,
English.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because I think Nigeria is a francophone country, so maybe the
No,
second
we were
language
colonized.
is French.
We were colonized by the British.
Oh, British, yeah, not French.
Yeah, so English is our official language.
Okay, my question is, this is about the uncertainty. Yeah? So you state that in business, there is no any certain things. Yeah, there is no any certain situation. So the business should agility. Okay. Does it mean that in every company or in a business, we have to plan A or plan B, plan C? So it's been we prepare and make a plan B if sometime next time we will be situation. And we also prepare and make a plan C in order to face maybe in the next time there is a C situation. We just make one plan, a big plan, main plan, and we just react and respond if there is any uncertainty in. It's clear my question.
Yes, I got your
Yeah.
question. You're like,
Okay.
is it?
Thank you.
If I get the question right, it's like you mean, is it necessary to have a plan B or a plan C in place in case of uncertainty in the life of the organization? So yes, there are instances or situation in any organization where you will need to have like a backup plan. For instance, you although not in most cases you have to just go ahead with that plan and restructure. Restructuring means you adjust. You understand? So it's not like having a plan B, then a plan A, you move to plan B. Most times it doesn't happen that way. It is like you have the plan A on ground, but it is still the plan A. You just make adjustments to that plan A. You understand? So if you, for instance, if you're into sales, sales and marketing, you don't just go into production as your plan B or as plan B. No, instead, you make adjustment to your sales and marketing organization so that you could still continue in that line, but make certain adjustments so that you can still continue your line of business. You understand? So it is not like a shift from a plan A to a plan B. No, it is readjusting what you have existing to suit those uncertainties.
So the key point is adjustment.
Yeah, say it again,
right?
please.
Come
again.
So the key point is we have to adjust if we face some uncertain things or uncertain situation.
Yes.
Okay,
you have to adjust You have to adjust your original plan if you face your uncertainties that will expose the organization to risk. You know, in every organization, you are trying to minimize risk as much as possible. So if you are able to readjust your plan to reduce your level of risk, that means you're doing well. So it is readjusting depending on the situation or the uncertainties you face. For example, let me cite an example. If you are a sales and marketing organization, and you know, you normally have several competition. You have several other organizations in the same line of business. So if you tried a system of advertising and it did not work so well, like people did not accept it so well as another one, all you need to do is just try another method and see how people would take it compared to the other one. So when you now try the second method and you do a data-driven decision, like you collect data and you assess the difference between your first marketing strategy and your second one, whichever works better, you're going to stick with that one. You understand? So it is just the same. Yeah, it is the same process. You just keep adjusting and readjusting until you get the real core method that suits the organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the adjustment? Yeah, adjustment. We make a really different plan between plan A and different plan B. Because with the data-driven decision, sometimes we know we can take. You listen my. Okay.
Yes, yes, Pak Bambang.
Yeah,
Just one feedback only, ya, Pak Bambang.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes with the data-driven, predict what will happen in the maybe 5 years next. So okay, there is two big situations. So we make a plan A and we make a plan B because there is two different situations. What about this? Is just let's make decisions, or we need to make a plan A and plan B?
Yeah, in that situation, I understand you now, where you are looking forward to totally different situation. You know, that is not like an uncertainty. Let me cite an example about that one. For instance, in agriculture, we know that there is going to be dry season. If you're in the rainy season and there is going to be dry season, and you make preparations for rainy season separately from the preparation for dry season, those are two different things. You could do it that way. You understand? Because you know what is coming up in the nearest future. You understand? But in case of uncertainties in business, those are what you cannot foresee. Those are what you cannot tell. You don't even know they are going to happen. You understand? Those are uncertainties. So in case the organization comes about any form of uncertainty, it means, and they already have plans in place, not as if they don't have plans and they've been executing it. They have, all they need to do is readjust that plan and see how it can best suit the situation they are facing and minimize risk as much as possible. Yeah, but I understand your own case where you could have different plans for different situations you are expecting. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pak Bambang. Wow, a great question. Okay, all my friends, we have 5 minutes left. So maybe one question from Adi Wijaya. Halo, Pak Adi. Halo, Pak Adi. Halo, Pak Adi, are you there?
Halo.
Okay. Adi Wijaya.
Ya.
Well.
Oke. Thanks for the time. My question is, how can business leader manage the influence of the latest technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, or blockchain in the face of strategic decision-making challenge in highly regulated industry? And how can they motivate and engage management time in the process? Thank you.
Okay. The thing is, artificial intelligence is kind of the trend now. Like it is current. That is what everybody is trying to tend towards to improve efficiency, to reduce the time you use in certain job roles compared to before that you have to sit down and write and analyze and now you could use artificial intelligence in so many aspects of the organization, in data analysis, in attending to your customers, in so many different parts of the organization. Artificial intelligence can be used in so many organization aspects, departments, and it's so useful nowadays. So yes, it's very important. If you could bring in artificial intelligence, it will be very helpful. It's just that, you know, some people they find it difficult catching up with the trend, you know? So they find it a little difficult because they are used to their normal ways of running their business. Then all of a sudden you bring something new. So yes, for those that can quickly adopt AI is fine. It makes them, they are able to do work faster and more efficient. But for some other organizations that it takes them a little while to adopt things like that, they will still have to continue the whole way. Okay. But it's good if any organization can make use of artificial intelligence. It's very helpful.
Okay, thank you, Ibukun. How?
Thank you,
Adi
Ibukun.
Wijaya, it's enough.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for the answer,
Okay.
Ibukun.
Okay, thank you so much, Ibukun, because the time is very limited. Maybe we can continue in the next agenda. And I hope this not just the first our meeting, our discussion. We will continue in the next discussion. Maybe in the other subject our class. Okay, maybe the last before we closing this class, you have any conclusion remark from Ibukun?
Okay. So thank you so much for the opportunity once again, Doctor. And I am so glad that everybody was able to learn something good about strategic management. And I hope that very soon, sometimes in the nearest future, we'll be able to have more collaborations and more learning experiences together and to rub minds across across the globe. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. Keep close to Ibukun. Yeah, this is a valuable discussion, Ibukun, because you have many or a lot of experience about manage the organization, especially in your business. It's make us very clear, very clear how to align our vision, mission, and how to readjust the planning that maybe because the climate is changed every day, or maybe any some big happen in organization that we have to change all the planning. It's a very good explanation, very good. And I hope in the next month, right? We do visiting lecturer again with your students, and
Okay.
Maybe all my students gather in Zoom too.
It's fine. It's good. It's good.
Okay, thank you so much, Ibukun.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
all you have discussed this great moment. And oh yeah, I will announce to my students that we have collaboration in research, right? In research, and we have published in the valuable journals in Indonesia. Sinta 2 ya, Sinta 2. Sinta 2 it's the accreditation that help of Ministry Education in Indonesia itu. That's a very valuable journal in Indonesia. Okay, thank you so much, and let's take picture together before
Okay.
we close this class. Pardon. What moment? What Ibukun?
Excuse me, Ibukun. Would you meant to?
Okay. Yes. I have closed the
Yes,
presenting material. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take picture together. With the smile ya, smile. Parjiati, Pak Rafid, Pak Bekti, Nabila. Wah, Nabila. Halo Nabila.
Halo Pak,
Open your cam please.
I'm not using makeup.
Oh yeah. No problem. You are pretty, don't worry. Okay. Mas Eko?
Yeah, on 3. Please, 1, 2, 3. Okay, please hold. I will go to next slide. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, Mr. Syamsul.
Okay, thank you so much. And we close this class with the pray to our God, pray or welcome. Okay, thank you so much all the participants today. Have a nice day, Ibukun.
Thank you. Okay.